I want to talk about what's been happening to Moms for Liberty, a group I love. I've spoken to them early on in their tenure as an organization down in Florida, and they've only grown and gotten more popular given the state of our country and how just nasty people are towards parents who are trying to speak up against what's happening in the schools. So Moms for Liberty does not listen to the hateful people attacking them. They continue to organize parents, to run moms and others for school boards positions so they have a real seat at the table in changing policies that are hurting kids, whether it's the transgender nonsense, sexuality, America, cop bashing, like they're the COVID mania, you name it. It's a great group. So they had their second annual convention. They call themselves Joyful Warriors who do not co-parent with the government. Now they have 285 chapters in 45 states. They self-report a membership of approximately 120,000. And they had their big convention in Philadelphia. And the reaction from the mainstream media has been, this is basically the Proud Boys getting together. It's a, quote, hate group that has been labeled a hate group, an extremist group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And we're still supposed to believe that that group, Southern Poverty Law Center, should be trusted in any way to decide who's hateful. They're hateful. They hate anyone who's not a far-left progressive. But they were cited by NPR, by USA Today, by the Washington Post as the authority in saying Moms for Liberty is an anti-government extremist group. But it wasn't just them. We could go down the list. So what do you make of what's happening to Moms for Liberty and the narrative about them?
Oh, well, it's a complete and total witch hunt, as we can tell. As soon as you hear Southern Poverty Law Center, I want everybody to know you should have a red flag up. As a leftist, I used to work in tandem with Southern Poverty Law Center. They put up these huge maps of all the hateful extremist groups that are all across America. And now you have to wonder with this story, how many of those markers on the map are actually groups like Moms for Liberty, who are going out as mothers, as daughters, as sisters, and who are advocating for young children, for them to get a better education, for them to be protected, for their innocence to be protected in this country. This is a relatively docile group of women who are coming together to just have this conversation, to place themselves in positions of power, to make change for their children's lives, and they're being labeled as extremists. It is really reminding me of all the parents who were heading to school boards to talk about the pornography that was in their students' classes, to talk about the issues of gender theory and gender confusion, being labeled as, extremist and domestic terrorists by the DOJ in that letter that they put out. So it's reframing. They're trying to label everybody who has a dissident opinion as an extremist. And people should, when they hear these words, view them with a strong sense of skepticism. Because to me now, the word domestic terrorist or extremist carries no weight whatsoever because it's being used so often to refer to groups like Moms for Liberty.
Amala, just to follow up, because you're with Prager, Salon, which is a far-left publication online, they get specific on why they object to Moms for Liberty. They point out that they invited, quote, anti-LGBTQ pundits Dennis Prager and James Lindsay. They're mad that they invited Prager. I mean, I guess I'm a hate group too, because I've had Prager on this show many times. He's a genius.
Oh my gosh. And there's no need to even put out the disclaimers, but I'll do it anyways. Dennis Prager has multiple gay friends. He's the godfather to a child of gay parents. So I don't know how anybody could look at Dennis Prager and label him as somebody who is anti-LGBTQ. But that's what's happening now. If you disagree with one use of their agenda or one use of their opinion or some of the extreme policies that they're trying to push forward, specifically in reference to kids, you are blanketed as an LGBTQ plus extremist who's, anti-trans, anti-lesbian, anti-gay. And I think what they're going to find is a lot of people within the LGBTQ plus community, specifically lesbian, gay, and bisexual people, are coming forward and saying, wait a second, I listen to Dennis Prager on the radio and he doesn't say anything about my lifestyle. Or wait a second, I don't agree with some of the stuff you're doing in relation to children and their education. And we need to disband this massive acronym that we've created for no other reason than to lump people together and push a certain agenda.
Evita, Southern Poverty Law Center, in discussing why this group is so horrible and hateful, points out former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis are top-billed speakers at the event. The horror! The two top frontrunners for the GOP nomination. And by the way, Nikki Haley showed up there. Maybe Tim Scott, I'm trying to remember. But just being a Republican is enough to get labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, as I point out, continues to get cited with favor by organizations like the Washington Post. The veil should have come down on this group long ago. When I was at NBC in 2018, even they said internally, I'm not sure we should be citing them. Not to me, there's an internal discussion. I'm not sure we should be citing this. Even they were starting to get it back then, but we still have all these mainstream groups holding them up as the final arbiter of who's hateful.
Well, forget the Washington Post. The FBI did it too. They cited the Southern Poverty Law Center when they did that horrible document labeling traditional Catholics as white supremacists and extremists who need to be surveilled by the government and had the church infiltrated by FBI agents. I mean, this is I love what Amala said about the Southern Poverty Law Center. I think that they are a ridiculous organization used by the left in the media and also in our government to demonize regular Americans who stand in opposition to leftist politics. This is exactly what all of this is about. And I saw this on college campuses too, right? This is the leftist playbook. If you say anything that they don't like, they say you're a racist, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, and they do that to control you, because if they can label you with this word and they can make you feel bad, then you start to self-censor, and you start to abide by the framework that they want you to. And the Moms for Liberty is a wonderful organization. I've worked with them at The Federalist, interviewed them, reported on their work. They are a wonderful group of women who said, you know what, we're not going to co-parent with the government. We are going to take back control of our children's educations and really their minds, because this is what these schools have become, is indoctrination machines with CRT, with these LGBTQ books, with teachers putting in this learning system where they're doing LGBTQ awareness in math and science and infiltrating it into all parts of education. This is what these moms are opposing. This is very reasonable. These were things that as a country, we never would have stood for even a decade ago. When I was in elementary school, these things weren't existing. So this is a visceral reaction from moms and dads saying, you know what, we're not going to let our kids be indoctrinated in this way. And I think that is a direct opposition to the left and their plan to change the future generations. And that's why that they're labeling them with these ridiculous terms. White supremacists. It's just so crazy.
It's very threatening to them. I thank God for Moms for Liberty. I believe in their mission. They've been successful. I completely agree that the fight is at the local level. Get on the school boards, make a difference there. It's very hard to do it from the top down. You got to be right in on the ground floor. And I've looked at them many times and thought, good for them, because as much as I agree with them ideologically, I'm not an organizer. It takes a lot to actually organize people and get the troops out there to fight the good fight and get the school board changed and all that. And that's overwhelming. And I think a lot of moms in general are busy. They have these little people who really need to take up most of their time, never mind working moms who have another added layer on top of it. And these women are making it happen. So they're tough. They can handle this. Like many people, I am eating healthier these days, or at least trying to. And that's why I love good olive oil. And by good, I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthiest nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for many months growing stale. That's why I like my olive oil direct from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a guy named TJ Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I first tasted TJ's farm fresh oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his fresh pressed olive oil club, TJ's willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils for just $1 to help him cover shipping. Best of all, there's never a commitment to buy anything, and you can cancel your membership at any time. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 shipping and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to harvestfreshnow.com. That's harvestfreshnow.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 in shipping. harvestfreshnow.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.